Welcome to the Bodhi Academy. Today we are going to solve PYQ questions from Biology, chapter Principles of Inheritance and Variation. So let us take the first question. State the three laws of inheritance that Mendel derived. So Mendel, in his experiment with Pisum sativum, that is pea plant, he derived three laws. The first law is law of dominance. Then the second law, first law is law of dominance, the second law is law of segregation, and the third law is law of independent assortment. So let us see the first law. So the first law is when two contrasting alleles are present together, only dominant allele expresses itself in phenotype while the recessive allele remains hidden. So this is the law of dominance, that is the dominant one will be expressed and the recessive one will be hidden. So for example over here now, if we have a tall tree and a short tree. So these are the dominant characters and these are the recessive character. When we get the F1, the alleles will be capital T, small t, and the plant will be tall. So over here, the tallness of the plant is because of the dominant character trait which is there, that is capital T. So this is the law of dominance. Then law of segregation. So this law states that during gamete formation, the two alleles for a trait separates independently. So each gamete carries only one allele. So this is the law of segregation, wherein the alleles will segregate itself to give the particular character in the organism. Then the third law is law of independent assortment. So this law states that all alleles of different genes are inherited independently of each other. So this is the law of independent assortment. So these are the three laws which are derived by Mendel, that is law of dominance, law of segregation and law of independent assortment. So the next question is define alleles, phenotype, genotype, homozygous, heterozygous, dominant and recessive trait. So we have to define each of the term. So over here, the meaning of allele is it is the alternative form of gene. So alleles are basically form of genes. For example, over here we have a set of allele that is we have genes that is T and small t and capital T. So this becomes the alleles. Then phenotype. Phenotype is basically physical appearance of the trait. So for example, if we have this combination of genes, then the appearance of this will be tall and appearance of this will be short. So basically phenotype is the physical appearance of the trait. Then genotype, it is the genetic makeup. For example, if we have offspring that is capital T, small t, capital T, small t and capital T, small t. So over here now the genetic makeup will be that this will be tall and this too will be tall. So this will have one dominant trait and one recessive trait, one dominant trait and recessive trait. Because of the dominant trait, they both will be tall plants and this will be also a tall plant. So this becomes the genetic makeup of the traits. Then homozygous. Homozygous are identical alleles. For example, if we have both the alleles as dominant alleles and if we have both the alleles as recessive alleles, the alleles over here are identical. So this becomes the homozygous set of genes. Then heterozygous, different alleles. For example, if the set of allele will be capital T, small t or uh, capital Y, small y. So these are non-identical. That is this is a different set of alleles. That is this one will have dominant and the other will be recessive. So combination like this is heterozygous alleles. Then dominant trait and recessive trait. Dominant traits are the traits which are expressed. So, for example, if we have a combination like capital T, small t, the plant will be a tall plant. So, over here, because the set has a dominant trait that is capital T, it is expressing it is getting expressed. So the plant will be tall. So that is because of the dominant gene. So dominant genes are basically the traits which are expressed in an allele. Then recessive traits are expressed when both the alleles are recessive. So over here we have one dominant and one recessive, but because of the dominant one, the dominant trait is getting expressed. If we have both the trait as small t, the plant will be a short plant. So over here, for recessive trait, both the allele has to be recessive so that it can be expressed. So this is the meaning of each of the term. So the next question is, work out a cross between true breeding red and white flower of snapdragon plant. So we have to draw the cross between a red and a white flower of snapdragon plant. So these are the parent, that is red is crossed with a white flower. So red becomes the dominant and white becomes the recessive. So let us write the genes, that is capital R is crossed with small r. So this is homozygous red and this is homozygous white. Now we have to cross this. So we'll do a Punnett square. So we will get our F1 generation as capital R, small r. So now after doing the selfing, that is we have to cross we have to cross this with the same plant, that is we are doing the selfing. So after this, now again we have to draw a Punnett square. So we will get the offspring, that is we will get our F2 generation over here as capital R, capital R, capital R, small r, and small r, small r. So over here the offspring will be, this will be pure red, both of this will have one recessive, one dominant. So it forms an intermediate, that is a pink flower, and this will be pure white. So these are the offspring that we will get in case of crossing a red with a white flower. So the next question is, explain the law of dominance using a monohybrid cross. So let us see what is the law of dominance using a monohybrid cross. So law of dominance, it states that in heterozygous condition, the dominant allele masks the expression of the recessive allele. That is, in a heterozygous condition, if we have a, a set of gene, that is capital T and small t. So this is a set of heterozygous condition. So over here, the dominant allele masks the expression of the recessive allele. So the phenotype of this plant, this will be a tall plant. So over here, capital T which is there, it is the dominant character, dominant gene, and small t is the recessive gene. So over here, because of presence of this capital T, the plant will show the tall character. So this is the law of dominance. So let us understand this with the example of a monohybrid cross. So over here, now we have taken parent. So we have taken one contrasting character, that is height. So because of that, this is called as a monohybrid cross, because we are taking only one contrasting character, that is we are comparing the height of the plant. So the character is tall and the dwarf. So first let us write the genes. Capital T crossed with small t, small t. So using a Punnett square, we will get the F1 generation. So F1 generation over here will be heterozygous tall. That is, we will get all capital T, small t. So these are heterozygous tall. Now we will do selfing of F1 generation. That is, F1 will be crossed with F1. That is, capital T small t will be crossed with capital T small t. So this will be your F1 generation, which is self. Now we will do the Punnett square for this. So offspring or your F2 will be capital T, capital T, capital T, small t, and small t. So the phenotypic ratio will be, this will give you a tall plant, this too will also give us tall, and this will give us a short plant. So the ratio will be 1 to 3, 3 is to 1. That is the phenotypic ratio, that is according to the appearance of the plant. It will appear, that is 3 plants will appear tall and 1 plant will appear short. Now we have to see the genotypic ratio. So genotypically, as in what is the genetic makeup of the plant. So over here, one is homozygous tall, that is pure tall. So this will be your pure tall. So this is one. Then there is heterozygous tall, that is one recessive and one dominant trait will be there. So this is heterozygous tall. Heterozygous tall. So we have two heterozygous tall, and there will be one homozygous short. So the phenotypic ratio will be 3 is to 1 and the genotypic ratio will be 1 is to 2 is to 1. So this is the phenotypic and genotypic ratio of monohybrid cross. So here, with the help of this cross, we can state the law of dominance, that is, the dominant allele masks the expression of the recessive allele in using this cross. So the next question is, what is pedigree analysis? Suggest how such an analysis can be useful. So pedigree analysis is the study of an inherited trait within the family over multiple generations. So this is the analysis of the trait which is inherited by the family member over multiple generations is called as pedigree analysis. For example, if the great grandfather has blue eyes, the son will not inherit that. But in the, for example, in the third generation, the blue eyes will be seen. So this we can identify using pedigree analysis. So this is the study of inherited trait within the family of over multiple generations. So this study is called as pedigree analysis. So what are the uses of the pedigree analysis? Identifies whether a trait is dominant, recessive, autosomal or sex-linked. Then it helps in predicting genetic disorders like hemophilia, sickle cell anemia. Then assist in genetic counseling for hereditary diseases. So this helps us in identifying if the disease will be inherited by the coming generations, helps in forensic studies and paternal disputes. So these are the uses of pedigree analysis. So the next question is, how is sex determined in human beings? So basically there are 46 chromosomes in human beings which forms 23 pairs. From this 23 pairs, 22 are autosomes and one pair will form the sex chromosomes. So in male, this one set will have X and Y, and in female, this one set will have X and X chromosome. So now, if the child, so this will be in male and female now. So if the child inherits, that is one X chromosome from the father and one X chromosome from the mother, the child will be a female. So this is one way. The second case will be if the child inherits X chromosome from the mother and Y chromosome from the father, the child born will be a male. So this is how sex determination happens in human beings. That is, there are 46 chromosomes which forms 23 pairs. From this 23 pairs, 22 are called as the autosomes and one is called as the sex chromosome. So one pair of chromosome will be the sex chromosome. In male it will be XY and in female it will be XX. So the sex of the child will be determined whether the child inherits X or Y chromosome from the father, because the mother will have both the chromosome as the X chromosome. So if the child inherits X chromosome from the father, the child born will be a female, and if the child inherits Y chromosome from the father, the child born will be a male. So this is the process of sex determination in human beings. So the next question is, a child has blood group O. If the father has blood group A and the mother has a blood group B, work out the phenotype of the parent and the possible genotype of the other offspring. Now first thing we have to write is the father blood group of father is A and mother's blood group will be B. So we have to work out a cross between this to find out what will be the possible blood groups of the offspring. So first we will write the parent. So father has A and the mother will be having B. So now we will write the genotype, that is IA IO crossed with IBIO. Now we will write the gametes IA IO and O. So now we have to cross this using a Punnett square. IA IB IB IO. This will be IA IO and IO IO. So this will be the possible combination, that is the offspring will be IB IBIO, then IAIO or IOIO. So IAIB will give you blood group AB, IBIO will give you blood group B, IAIO will give you blood group A, and IOIO will give you blood group O. So the possible outcomes of the offspring, the possible offspring may get the blood group as AB, A, B or O if the parent has a blood group A and B. So the next question is, give characteristic features of Turner's syndrome. So Turner syndrome, it is a genetic disorder caused by missing X chromosome in females. So that is why it is XO. Basically females have X and X chromosome, but here one chromosome, that is X chromosome, is missing in females. So this causes Turner syndrome, that is a genetic disorder. So what are the characteristics of this disorder? The characteristics of this disorder are drooping eyelids, small jaw, then fingernails and toenails that are narrow and turn upwards, and underdeveloped female reproductive organ, which leads to infertility. So these are the characteristics of Turner syndrome. So the next question is, two men filed a case against Miss Leela claiming to be the father of her only child. So name and give the basis of technique that could identify the biological father. So over here, the technique that we will use to identify the biological father is DNA fingerprinting. So this is the technique wherein um, in every individual there is a short tandem repeat, that is STRs, which are unique to the individual. So from the DNA we can compare that with the mother, father and the child. So each DNA from the mother, father and the child has to be taken, and then this STRs has to be compared. So if man's DNA matches 50% with the child, he will be the biological father of the child. So this is how DNA fingerprinting technique will help us to identify the actual father of the child. The last question, explain incomplete dominance using example. So what is incomplete dominance? Incomplete dominance is when the heterozygous phenotype is intermediate between the homozygous phenotype. So let us take one example to understand the incomplete dominance. So if we take a red flower crossed with a white flower, so F1 over here, will be a pink flower. Okay. So if we self this, what we will get is, so over here, in this case, over here, this two will be pink and this will be red and this will be white. So this two over here will form a intermediate between the homozygous phenotype. That is, this will be neither red neither white, but it will be pink. So it will have the combination of both the genes. So that is why this cross will show a incomplete dominance. That is, one will be red, two will be pink and one will be white. So over here, these two pink flowers which we get will be the intermediate between the homozygous phenotypes over here, that is red and white. So pink becomes the intermediate between the red and white, and hence it shows incomplete dominance in the cross. Thank you for watching today's video. Please don't forget to like, comment, share and subscribe to the Bodhi Academy.